Okay, 8th graders, this is our last video in the editing series here. We're going to work on making sure that your in-text citations are formatted correctly and are in your paper where they need to be. As you watch this video, keep in mind that our example, we relied heavily on movies, so we wouldn't take all the same examples that you were pulling out of literature. So our in-text citations will look slightly different, but I'll talk through that when we get there. If you used a quote in your introductory paragraph as we did, make sure that you say who said that quote, and if your reader needs to know more about that person as to who they are, include that. I did so with parentheses. You could do it in a few different ways. If you included in your introductory paragraph any information from other texts, that needs to be cited. If you just mention that you're going to be talking about certain stories or films, that's fine, doesn't need to be cited. Once you get to your body paragraphs, you should have a significant amount of in-text citations. Let's begin. Throughout the world, in life, in literature, and movies, we see that humans are power-seeking. The antagonist in The Lion King, Scar, is perhaps the ultimate example of this. Scar seeks power over the kingdom currently ruled by his brother, Mufasa. Scar's desire for power is so great, he's willing to kill his own brother to gain it. Because all three of these sentences are talking about the same text and the same basic idea from that text, you don't cite each sentence separately. The last sentence, you'd put a space after the last word, open parenthesis, and then this will be the first word from your citation or your author's last name. On my works cited page, I know that from The Lion King, my first word is the, which I would skip. The next one is lion. So I would say lion. Okay. In films, you don't have page numbers, so I would leave that off. Another example of the drive for power is seen in Harry Potter. The character of Voldemort is part of the wizarding community, but Voldemort's desire for further power causes him to commit serious acts of violence against many in the novel. Lastly, in the story of Aladdin, okay, well, since I'm switching stories, I need to now give credit to the author of Harry Potter. You'll see over here on the screen, I have my T-charts right next to me. You have your T-charts with page numbers on them. So, Harry Potter, I know that from my works cited, I need to grab Rowling as my author's last name. So I'm going to go space, open parentheses, Rowling, space, and then I should have on my T-chart written my page number here. In this case, I've got it written on the post-it note next to me. Page 658 really speaks to some of this evil that we see in Voldemort. Okay? You would use the page number for whichever one of your pieces of information you are sharing the strongest. If you're sharing a few pieces from the story on different pages, including just one page number for this mention is sufficient. The reader, if they're interested in the story, will go back to that page and then they're going to read on either side of it to find more information. Lastly, in the story of Aladdin, Jafar's actions stimulated his cravings for power, reveal his evil nature as he briefly becomes the most powerful person in the world. Space, open parentheses. Movies start with the title of the movie, so I will just type Aladdin, period. Okay. Anytime you switch sources, so if you're switching from Green Gulch to Too Soon a Woman, you need to cite that. Anytime you switch paragraphs, you need to start reciting. So I have my next topic sentence here. Just as we have seen that humans are power-seeking, we will also see how they are self-serving. In all three previously mentioned examples, the characters disguise their manipulative and self-serving actions as helpful and good. Only later do the characters they've manipulated realize that self-serving nature of these evil characters' actions. Scar makes Simba believe Simba is responsible for his father's death. We're talking about The Lion King again. Because it's a new paragraph, I have to cite that again. So what you need to do is go through your entire argumentative essay, and anytime you either first mention or re-mention any other text, you'll put a citation in. Yours will look closer to this because you'll have an author's last name, space, page number. Okay. If you have used other sources outside of the ones that we've made T-charts on, you still need to cite those as well. Go back to the video about making your works cited page. There's some more directions on how do you cite other sources. Okay. Read through your entire essay. Make sure that every time you talk about either a direct quote or a paraphrase, which means your own explanation of what happened in the story, you have given credit to the author who wrote that original story.